Nonverbal communication is the way in which we express ourselves through our body language, proxemics, kinesics, touch, facial expressions, ways in which a person doesn't use verbs, their voice to project and convey the way they feel. I want to talk to you about the ways in which nonverbal communication shows itself through sports. As human beings, we love sports. We love engaging in competition. We love expressing ourselves through competition, showing our innermost feelings through sport. With sports such as basketball, baseball, football, soccer, the athlete shows how they feel through their body language, through not necessarily the way in which they speak, which is kind of what I wanted to go with today in this direction. I feel as though, being an athlete myself, I'm very aware on the implications of nonverbal language in regards to sport. Playing in a game, you might make a face, and a coach might think that you're thinking a certain way because of the face that you make. If a coach says to me to run a little bit harder, I might make a face as to insinuate that I think I did run hard, or maybe I'm trying to show that coach up through my use of my facial expression. A lot of times you can get caught up and get in trouble with a coach or with someone who's ahead of you and make a face, make a body gesture that isn't conducive to what they want to see from one of their players. A lot of times as well, in competition, when a team achieves a monumental achievement, they may express themselves through throwing their hands up in the air or hugging a teammate. And this is an example that I wanted to show here today. This example right here is from the NBA Finals, the 2010 NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers, who are bitter rivals. It was a pivotal Game 7. The winner obviously would win the entire NBA Finals. And as you can see here, in the waning seconds of the Finals match, Rajon Rondo attempts to shoot a three. It does not go in, thus establishing the Lakers as the 2010 NBA playoff champions. As you see here, Kobe Bryant jumps up in the air with his teammates. They're hugging one another. They're exchanging words, but you can tell just how excited they are just through the way in which they're throwing their limbs and smiling, and not necessarily just their words. So they're conveying their message through their body language and through proximity with one another. These are all fully grown men who are hugging one another as if they're 10-year-olds at recess. It's refreshing to see this because it shows that they're excited and they put a lot of work into their craft, and they're the champions. So it's a fun thing to see. Andrew Bynum and Lamar Odom are hugging one another. Pau Gasol and a teammate are hugging one another, grabbing each other's heads. Fans are into it. It's a great example of camaraderie and teamwork and other things that go into what makes sports such a beautiful thing. Also want to go and I want to show the opposite sides of the spectrum in regards to nonverbal communication and nonverbal cues. I wanted to make reference to the most recent Super Bowl, the 2015 Super Bowl between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. The game was one of the best Super Bowls of all time. It came down to the last second, and here in this clip, this is third down or second down rather of the Super Bowl, fourth quarter, and the Seattle Seahawks had just made a great drive down the field to set themselves up to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, who's more than likely, arguably the greatest or one of the best running back in the NFL right now. And everyone watching the Super Bowl is thinking that they're just going to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch once, twice, maybe three times just to get the ball into the end zone. The Seattle Seahawks threw in a little bit of a wrench, and as you'll see here, there's Bill Belichick. Prior was Coach. Okay, there's the here right here is the the interception by the Patriots, thus giving them the title. They're down away from downing the football, letting the clock run out, and becoming the Super Bowl champs. Tom Brady is ecstatic, can't believe that they won. Everyone's thinking they were going to lose because Marshawn Lynch is so powerful as a running back. There's Coach Pete Carroll with his hands on his knees. And in this picture right here, you can see Pete Carroll demonstrating his sadness, his disbelief in what happened. Anyone who watched this game would say they felt almost exactly the same way. I would assume the Seattle Seahawks fans felt like this, maybe if not worse, seeing their great team lose in such a way. Had to be devastating, as you can see with Pete Carroll. This picture says a lot here. His elbows are on his knees, his hands, his mouth's in his shirt, his head's down, he doesn't want to be seen, he's crouched over. This is showing that he doesn't really want to be in this moment. He doesn't want anybody to see him. He's ashamed of himself for making the decision to throw the ball instead of giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch, which is what he and really anyone else knew was the right thing to do in this scenario. Russell Wilson's clapping his hands together. It's utter disbelief. He's dragging his headset on the ground behind him. Marshawn Lynch is smiling in disbelief. This right here is a facetious smile. He's upset with his coach because he didn't give him the ball. He knew he deserved the ball, as did everyone else. And Pete Carroll, his facial expressions right here are showing that he knows he made a mistake as well. Russell Wilson has his hand on his hip, as well as Pete Carroll. Utter disbelief. And right here is number 21 for the New England Patriots, who was a cornerback. He was a rookie, an undrafted rookie at that, and he made the biggest play of his life, one of the biggest plays that any player could make in his position to win the Super Bowl. So complete emotion on both sides, just raw emotion in this clip. Another clip I'd love to show here is the classic 1986 scenario with George Brett and pine tar incident. It is a baseball game. It's a regular season baseball game between the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. George Brett was an all-star for the Kansas City Royals for many years in the 1980s and early 1990s. In this scenario, he hits a home run and is a 3-run home run to put Kansas City up in the top of the 7th inning. And as he comes around, he rounds third base, comes home, establishes his home run, and goes to the dugout thinking he hit a home run, as did everyone else. The New York Yankees head coach comes out and establishes that he is upset with the amount of pine tar that is on George Brett's bat. The umpires convene, and they eventually come to the agreement that there was too much pine tar on George Brett's bat, and the reason he hit the home run was because of all that pine tar. They pull out a kind of a taboo, not very well known way of seeing how much pine tar was on his bat and measuring it across home plate. There was too much, they decided, and George Brett was called out. And this is George Brett's reaction to the call.
He's going to call George Brett out. Well, he is. He's out. Yes, Brett is out. Look at this.
He's called out. George Brett comes out and he's angry. You can tell in the way he's pushing and shoving, flailing his arms about. He's being held back by 3 umpires and 4 teammates. He's absolutely mortified. He's angry. He can't believe that they called him out. He doesn't even need to say anything for you to see that he's upset and that he's angry. This is a great example of someone showing how upset they are, how mad they are, just through the use of their arms, the use of their facial expressions, their emotions. This is one of the greatest examples, I think, of body language and in sports. In this clip from the 2013 NBA Eastern Conference Finals is Dwayne Wade and his heated altercation with head coach Eric Spoelstra. it was well documented that Spoelstra and Dwayne Wade during this finals had just a little bit of beef. They had a little bit of a couple altercations in which they both kind of boiled over and showed through their body language that they were upset with one another, that they didn't agree on certain things, and because of that, it was made a big deal by the media, and they had a lot to explain in regards to why they were acting the way they were. In this scenario, it's a heated altercation between the two in a timeout in the Eastern Conference Finals 2013. Right here, you'll see Dwayne Wade stands up, he makes contact with Eric Spoelstra, some words are exchanged, and right here you'll see he kind of gives him a little shove with his chest. He pulls his arm back from his teammate, he walks away, he's angry, he's upset. You can tell that there's an altercation between the two. You can tell they're disagreeing on something. It's a good example of the ways in which nonverbal communication is used to express the feelings of players in the NBA and in sports in general. Nonverbal communication in sports is as prevalent as it can be when you have so many competitors together in one event, in one closed area. There's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a lot of anger, happiness, all the expressions that you could possibly show through nonverbal communication would be expressed in the world of sport. And in such an arena, you might have athletes, players who they don't agree. They might agree too much. They might share their joy. They might be ecstatic in their victory. They might be upset in their loss, in their failures. Through sport, you get so many different, such a wide range of emotions, such a wide range of character. So many players and so many people put together in one place can create the ultimate dramatics, the ultimate stage for dramatics. And that's why I wanted to talk about sport and the ways in which it is related and relevant to the idea and the study of nonverbal communications. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope you took something from it. Thank you for listening, and